This
President Muhammadu Buhari launches 62.1 billion naira fund to improve efforts towards addressing killer diseases and public health emergencies. Central Bank of Nigeria to enhance Anko Borrower program in Kano State. Senate refers rent reduction bill to avert threat of Ukraine war. Possessing a permanent voter's card is a duty to all citizens. Please ensure you acquire yours. Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 1st of February 2022, which is equivalent to the 29th of Jamada Thani, 1443 after Hijri. And now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched a 62.1 billion naira fund to improve efforts towards sustaining the country's HIV response, addressing killer diseases and public health emergencies. The trust fund was launched at an event at the State House today. President Buhari, however, said he's hopeful that the private sector-led initiative will surpass the 62 billion naira target in the next 5 years in order to adequately provide requisite treatment for HIV-positive mothers while contributing to closing the funding gap for HIV in Nigeria. The private sector-led funding for the HIV Trust Fund of Nigeria is expected to crystallize a sustainable financial mechanism for the mobilization and deployment of domestic private sector resources, particularly aimed at preventing mother-to-child transmission of HIV in the country. According to the Executive Director, Joint United Nations Programme on HIV/AIDS, Ms. Winnie Byanyima, a total of 1.7 million Nigerians are living with HIV, while 1.6 million of that figure are on treatment. Byanyima further noted it leads with the highest number of HIV infections among children. She said although the COVID-19 has pushed back intervention on the pandemic, ending AIDS is not just a moral but an economic imperative. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it will continue to enhance the Anko Borrowers program in Kano State in order to diversify the Nigerian economy. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, stated this today during a visit to the Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, at the state's government house. Emefiele said Kano State has been a peaceful commercial center, and for that, he appreciates the Kano State government for its efforts in the areas of agriculture and power supplies for industries to function, as well as the entire state.
Kano State has always been a commercial center. We've known Kano. Those days when we talk about Ghana Pyramid, I think it was here in Kano that we had Ghana Pyramid. It has been a commercial center, and I'm delighted that you have done an excellent work trying to make sure that everything goes well.
In a remark, the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, commended the Central Bank Governor for various interventions in Kano, which includes the Anko Borrower scheme, which facilitates the production of rice as well as intervention in infrastructural development.
We thank you for various interventions to Kano State government. First of all, we thank you for the hydroelectricity, for which you are producing from Tiga and Chalawa dams. The work is, one of the dams is 90-something%, the other one is 70-something%.
Correspondent Zara Onasa reports that the Central Bank's governor arrived Kano to commission a rice company together with Jigawa State Governor, Kebbi State Governor, among others. And on the sporting arena, the Nigerian basketball players have called on the sports minister, Sunday Dare, to save the sport after the Nigeria Basketball Federation polls on Monday produced two presidents. The parallel elections were held in Abuja and Benin City, with the poll in the former producing Mark Iguchi as the NBBF president, while the latter returned the incumbent Musa Ahmadu Kida as president. Correspondent Ahmed Hamsugwali has details of this and other sports updates.
The emergence of Ekchobo and the Amadou Kida is the latest twist to the leadership crisis that has rocked the sport in the last 4 years, which led a near collapse of basketball activities in the country. North Central Representative Ekchobo failed 11 votes to claim victory, while Osita Nwachukwu represents the Southeast zone had 11 voters to emerge vice president at the Abuja election, which held at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. As a national representative elected were Muhammad Lawan Na'Allah, Northwest, Ibrahim Gimba, Northeast, Kinsley Abunaga, South, and Josian Ahmedu, Southwest. Meanwhile, former Heartland FC goalkeeper Ikechukwu Ezenwa said he is ready to take legal action against the very best club over unpaid salaries and the breach of contract. The goalkeeper is out 9 months' salaries by the management of the club. The Super Eagle goalkeeper left the crash-stripped club following the expiration of his contract in October 2021. In another development, Mason Greenwood has been removed from FIFA 22 today after a database update for all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. The Manchester United striker no longer features in the popular computer game for offline modes. Meanwhile, Dele Alli and Donny van de Beek joined Everton bid to beat Premier League relegation on transfer deadline day after Frank Lampard was unveiled as the club's new manager. Dele Alli joined on a permanent deal from Tottenham after disappointing few years under 4 different managers in North London. Lampard was appointed as Everton's 7th manager in 6 years on a 2.5-year contract on Monday. Chelsea all-time leading goal scorer has been out of the game for a year since being sacked by the London club last January. And on tennis, former US Open champion Juan Martin Del Potro will make his comeback at the next month's Argentina Open, having last played competitively in June 2019. Del Potro has had 4 knee operations since playing at Queens more than 2 years ago. Ahmad Amis Gwale, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com.
Musa, me kake nema a cikin kitchen?
Masoyiyata, ina son cokali in sha magani.
Masoyi na, ka ɗauki comics kawai, ka yaga, sha ka samu sauki.
Haka ne fa, ku yi amfani da comics ma duk kai tari. Comics yana da dextromethorphan da guaifenesin. Kawai ku yaga ku sha, ku samu sauki yana kulele in ka sha. Aha, na samu sauki yanzu. Ina son comics. Comics, kamfani Orange Drugs Limited da ke yin kasuwanci da dilancinta. Maganin zai iya saka kasala. In alamar tarin bata tsaya ba bayan kwana 3, ka ga likitanka. Comics yana kulele.
Welcome back. You still listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The bill to regulate the payment of rent on residential apartments, office spaces, among other spaces in the Federal Capital Territory, has been referred to the Senate Committee on Housing. The bill, marked 2022 SB 893, presented to the senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Smart Adeyemi, was read for a second time. It was presented to become an act that reduces advance payment of rented spaces from 1 to 3 years to 3 months in Abuja. The Senate, on its official Facebook page, stated that the bill is targeted at making life meaningful for people who voted for the lawmakers. The bill passed the second reading with the support of Senators Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, Niger North, Chima Oke Namani, Enugu East, and Ibrahim Gobir, Sokoto East. The bill was eventually referred to the Committee on Housing to report back in 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the Senate today also passed the Civil Aviation Bill 2022, which seeks to repeal the Civil Aviation Act 2006. The passage of the bill followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Aviation. Chairman of the committee, Senator Smart Adeyemi, in his presentation said the aim of the
firms, 12 agricultural companies, and 2 healthcare firms. Meanwhile, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, engaged in 17 data breach investigations and issued 50 million naira fines in 2021. This was available in the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation Performance Report 2021, launched by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Alifantani. Last week, reports say that 7 investigations were concluded and sanctions were imposed on 3 entities. The report further noted that NITDA was partnering with key stakeholders to ascertain appropriate sanctions for different kinds of violations of Nigerian Data Protection Regulation. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, diplomatic efforts to avert a Russian invasion of Ukraine have been ramped up, with officials from several sides of the crisis involved in high-level discussions. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson arrived in Kyiv today for discussions with Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin was hosting Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban in Moscow, while United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke by phone. Massive more than 100,000 soldiers near the Ukraine border, but says it has no plans to invade. Instead, it accuses NATO of undermining the region's security and wants the alliance to cease military activity in Eastern Europe and block Ukraine from membership. The United States and NATO have ruled out these demands. A senior State Department official told reporters that the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken told his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov that this would be the time to pull back Russian troops from the border with Ukraine if Moscow is not intending to invade. And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched a 62.1 billion naira fund to improve efforts towards sustaining the country's HIV response, addressing killer diseases and public health emergencies. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it will continue to enhance the anchor borrowers program in Kano State in order to diversify the Nigerian economy. The bill to regulate the payment of rent on residential apartments, office spaces, among other spaces in the FCT, has been referred to the Senate Committee on Housing. On the foreign scene, diplomatic efforts to avert a Russian invasion of Ukraine have been ramped up, with officials from several sides of the crisis involved in high-level discussions. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.